You're muted, Judge.
Hello, can everybody hear me?
Yes.
All right, the 357 District Court will call its court to session for today's docket, Friday, May the 20th, 2022, starting with civil hearing 2020 DCL 3318, Armendariz, Sandoval, Mr. Green, Mrs. Galao.
Good morning, Your Honor. David Rowe here on behalf of the Green Law Firm for plaintiffs.
All right.
Ms.
Morning, Your
Cook, my
Honor.
client is on.
Sorry. Good morning, Your Honor. Jennifer Regalado on behalf of defendant.
Good morning, both of you. What are we doing with this case?
We've got a friendly suit this morning to finalize it, Your Honor. Ms. Cook, we're going to need you to turn your camera and your mic on, please. And I don't see our ad light on.
I'm here.
Oh, I'm sorry. There you are.
Don't worry.
All
Ms.
right,
Cook, you're still muted.
raise your right hand, Ms. Cook.
Do you solemnly swear from the testimony you will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank
right.
you.
Put your head down. All right, proceed. Proceed, whoever.
Take that, or you want me to do it?
Come on, one
Jennifer?
of you.
David, sorry.
All right, Ms. Cook, you understand. I've acted as you and your family's attorney during the course of some litigation arising out of a car wreck you and your family were involved in a couple years back. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And in that car wreck, both your daughters, Jessica and Corinne, sustained some injuries, right?
Yes.
Okay. And they got treatment for those injuries,
Yes.
and they've both recovered completely as far as you're concerned, correct?
Yes.
And as a result of that car wreck, myself and the other people at the Green Law Firm were able to negotiate settlements, two of them on behalf of both Jessica and Corinne. Is that correct?
Yes.
And one of those settlements was against the insurance carrier for the young man who your family was in a car wreck correct?
Yes.
And then that other settlement was against your family's own underinsured, uninsured motorist coverage, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And on behalf of Jessica from the insurance carrier for the young man who was driving the other car, we negotiated a settlement of $12,128 just for Jessica, correct?
Yes.
And then from your family's own insurance, we negotiated a further settlement of another $7,500, correct?
Yes.
And we have negotiated with all of the medical providers to get the best deal we could for Jessica. And after paying all those medical providers, taking out expenses and attorney's fees, the amount that we have informed you will be going into the registry of the court to gain interest until she reaches the age of majority is $6,827.88. You understand that?
Yes.
Okay. And then on behalf of Corinne, with the insurance carrier for the young man you were in the wreck with, we negotiated a settlement of $15,654. And with your own insurance carrier, another $7,500, again, negotiated with all of our medical providers. And that results in an amount going into the registry of the court just for Corinne of $8,465.88. Does that sound right to you?
Yes.
And has my firm provided services that you're happy with involved in this car wreck?
Yes.
Okay. And do you understand that what we're doing here today, since both your daughters are minors, is you have to come as their guardian and give kind of a final release to all of their legal rights so that once they turn 18, if they decide they have an ache or a pain or need some kind of medical treatment that they think is from the wreck, they won't be allowed to come bring another lawsuit or seek more money from either your own carrier or the other young man's carrier. You understand that that's why we're here today?
Yes.
And do you believe that asking Judge Magallanes to approve this settlement is in the best interests of both your daughters?
Yes.
And is that what you're asking this court to do?
Yes.
I pass the witness, Your Honor.
All right. Mr.
Okay, Miss.
Mr. Regalado.
Yes, Miss Cook. Good morning. Good morning. I'm Jennifer Regalado, and I represent the defendant in this lawsuit, Juan Pablo Sandoval. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay. And I know your attorney went over it, but just to clarify, to make sure that it's understood, that for Corinne, the settlement amount from Juan Pablo Sandoval was $15,654. You understand that, right?
Yes.
Okay, and from that amount, $8,465.88 is going to the registry of the court for Corinne when she turns 18.
Yes.
Okay, and also from that $15,654, $7,188.12 will go to the Green Law Firm to be paid for attorney's fees, expenses, and medical care.
Yes.
Okay. And then on Jessica's settlement from Juan Pablo Sandoval, the total was $12,128.
Yes.
And from that amount, $6,827.88 will be going to the registry of the court for Jessica when she turns 18.
Yes.
And also from that $12,128, $300.12 will be going to the Green Law Firm to pay for attorney's fees, expenses, and medical care that Jessica received on behalf of this accident.
Yes.
Jennifer, I apologize to interrupt you. You've got some numbers that are wrong because the numbers that we gave you were prior to settling with the first party carrier. We've now maximized a bit more money for the girls by just paying medical expenses out of those amounts. So that the figures you just read in aren't accurate. The figures that I read to Ms. Cook were.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I apologize, Your Honor. That was what it was on the judgment that was sent yesterday.
A judgment was signed in that amount yesterday?
It was signed by everybody, yes.
Oh,
I bet not the person that matters, Your Honor. And that was a topic that I was going to bring up. Because the UIM carrier.
let me cut off the discussion about this.
Yes, sir.
So for the record, Ms. Regalado, you have been told that the amounts are different because of whatever Mr. Rorik advised you of the additional settlement that changed the numbers. And then he's now given some numbers that are different from what you have written. Do you want an opportunity to review those numbers, or are you ready to proceed and agree and stipulate that the numbers Mr. Rorik read are the accurate ones and not the ones you put on the record?
I'll agree to stipulate, Your Honor.
All right, so let's run around with Mr. Rorik's numbers, and that will be reflected in the judgment. Mr. De Leon, do you have any questions?
Yes, very quickly. Ms. Cook, my name is Cesar De Leon. Remember you and I spoke prior to this meeting?
Yes.
And Ms. Cook, we actually reviewed the amounts for both Ms. Corina and for Ms. Jessica,
Yes.
her daughters. And ma'am, remember the first time we met, we had discussed that the attorney's fees were at 40%.
Yes.
And the Green Law Firm has agreed to reduce those to 33%. That was read into the record by Mr. Rorik.
Yes.
And you also heard some of the new amounts that he's going to be able to get you a little bit more money.
Yes.
With all that in mind, and after our discussion, do you agree that this is the best interest of your two daughters?
Yes.
Judge, I've met with Ms. Cook. I've reviewed the numbers. I spoke to the Green Law Firm. We've reviewed the medicals. We've reviewed the pleadings, and we think everything is in order. And the Green Law Firm did go down on their fees, and they were able to obtain a little bit more money for both clients. So we're asking the court to please approve the settlement, Your Honor.
All right. Court will take judicial notice of all documents on file in this case. The court having heard the testimonial evidence of Ms. Leslie Cook, who is a natural parent of the minor children and is representative such, has agreed to the settlement terms. The court will approve the settlement terms, approve the division of the assets as on the funds as dictated on the record by Mr. Rorik. And further, the court will order any and all monies to be deposited in the registry of the court for the minors, for the benefit of the minors until they become of age. Anything else?
On
Oh,
Judge,
Your
on
Honor.
the ad
No, Your
litem,
Honor.
And the ad, have you all figured out the ad item?
Yes,
We did,
Judge.
Your Honor, and that was included in the judgment. Would you like me to file a new judgment?
Well, of course, yes, if you have a judgment that has your number, Mr. Rory says they're wrong. So confer with Mr. Rory, get the right number to submit your judgment, please.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you. May I be excused?
Yes, have a good day. All right. 2015 DCL 425, Burris, Montemayor, McShan, Mr. Sanchez.
Yes, Your Honor. I'm present.
Okay. We need a, what is this for, Ms. Salas?
It's a final order, Judge, that needs to be submitted so we can close out our file.
Well, you heard what the problem is, Ms. McShan. How long do you need to do that?
Your Honor, I'm having issues getting a response from the other side. We
Well,
actually,
you file whatever you think you have that accurately reflects what occurred, and I will sign it.
Okay.
If he's got an issue with that, then he come to my court, and I'm gonna ask him why was he not on top of this.
okay,
So you submit what you think was the accurate agreement or whatever you're trying to resolve in your judgment, submit it to me for my signature. How long do you need to do that?
I can get that to you today, Your Honor. Do you prefer it via email or via e-filing?
Well, we have the electronic filing in the district courts here, so you have to follow that protocol.
Okay.
And make sure that we get it in the system so that my coordinator can look it up and print it and have it me ready for my signature, okay?
I'll e-file it right now. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, have a good day.
You too.
All right, 2020 DCL 1625, Trettenham, Suntide owners, Mr. Shipman and Mr. James or Mr. Lawhorn.
Good morning, Your Honor. How are you?
I've mentioned everybody but Mr. Nichols. So what's going on with this one?
Yes, good morning, Your Honor. This is Brian Nichols with the law firm of Hodge, James, Hillpass, and Nichols.
Okay.
My law firm represents Suntide 3 Owners Association.
Right.
And in this case, if you remember, Your Honor, about 30 days ago, a little bit more than that, the plaintiff's firm moved to withdraw as counsel. And at that time, this was on April 20th, not only the plaintiff's attorney appeared, of course, but the client, Mr. Trantham, also appeared and announced that he was okay with his lawyer withdrawing. And he stated that he no longer wished to pursue his case. And so Your Honor gave the plaintiff 30 days until now to obtain new counsel, communicate with us about what he was going to do.
Right.
And Your Honor, in the intervening 30 days, the plaintiff has not sent any correspondence at all, whether an email, text, phone call, letter, what have you, indicating that he intends to pursue the case or that he's hired any type of counsel. So Your Honor said that you would dismiss the case if within 30 days, nothing was done by plaintiff.
Today, the 30th day?
Today is the 30th day. Yes, Your
Well,
Honor.
then the court will dismiss it for want of prosecution.
Okay. Your Honor, thank you so much.
All right, have a good day.
Yes, may I be excused, Your Honor?
Have a good day, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. All right. Are these the criminal hearings at 9?
I thought we had one on Zoom.
That's correct, Judge. If we could
What
take,
do we have on Zoom? Oh, Stapleton. Stapleton, right?
well, Stapleton is the attorney for the defendant. However, this witness that was wrongfully
No,
attached.
no, that's saying, I know that Stapleton is the attorney. I'm saying the one that Stapleton's involved in.
Yes,
That
yes,
case,
Judge.
Jose Isaias Soto Martinez.
That's correct.
Yes, that's the one. But is Mr. Martinez on Zoom?
I'm here, Judge.
We were gonna put him on Zoom. Ed's on Zoom in my office, in my courtroom. And we need Mr. Martinez on Zoom and we need Mr. Lagarza's on Zoom. And we just need Mr.
And Judge, I hate to make this known, but I got federal court like in 30 minutes. So I gotta run. Before
Run
they
right
put me in custody. What?
Run right now? You're gonna run right now?
I would like to leave as soon as possible.
What happens to you in federal court that makes you so scared to get over there on time?
Heard the stories.
Well, but tell me what the stories are. I want to know So that maybe
You
I
want to know the one
maybe
story
so I
that
can
scares me
institute
the
those in
most?
my court. Maybe I can institute those kind of fears in my court because you guys should run like rabbits to federal court.
Well, this one hits me hard. This is the story I know. So the story I have is I office with Carlos Cisneros,
Right.
and he himself was visited by the marshals for not going to court or not being there on time, and I think they put him in shackles and sent him over there to the yeah. So that one hits hard because it's right there in my
Okay.
office. So
Well, now we know where you're at.
well, that's I would hate for that to happen
I'll
myself.
send you a friendlier face, somebody you know, Mr. Rivera, Moy. Anyway, well, here's the deal. There's Mr. Martinez, Mr. De La Garza. The reason we put this because you're counsel to Mr. Martinez, right?
No, Judge, he's counsel to Robert Wayne Johnson, the witness that was wrongfully attached.
Mr. Stapleton, Guinness's attorney.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't think he was wrongfully attached. We just didn't know that he had served his term until Mr. De La Garza talked to me. And I realized it because he was still serving time in December when we issued it. And we don't have any objection to him being released. As we'd ask that he be advised that he's under subpoena and given the date to return.
Yeah, and Judge, so I got a phone call from Mr. Robert Wayne Johnson. The reason being is because I guess he likes me because I was his former attorney from way back when. And he advised me of the fact that he was sitting there after having completed a term of imprisonment that he had served. And that's when I went ahead and that's how all of the ball got rolling into seeing what could be done. I believe that I guess if Mr. Stapleton's not opposed to it, we can, and I think the state is also on the same boat, is to let him out because he is being held on a writ for attachment as a witness.
The court won't have a choice. If he's been illegally restrained, no matter what the reason, the court has to, we have no
right.
We have
That's correct.
No right to hold him. I have no legal right.
And Mr. Stapleton's correct. When they first brought him in, he was basically still serving a term, so he wasn't going to get out.
Yeah, I understand that the attachment was executed while he was actually still in jail for serving time for the offense he's in there for. But the fact remains that it's come to light that he has served that sentence and he needs to be released, and the court will release him. Mr. Johnson. Mr. Johnson.
He's not present, Judge. Mr. Mason should have logged them in via Zoom from Valley Regional Medical Center. It's my understanding he had major surgery 2 days ago.
We need to admonish him that he needs to be aware that he's still under subpoena.
Let me reach out real quick to Willie Cardosa, Judge.
That's why
let me get him on the line.
I thought that's why we did this.
We did. I forwarded the link to Frank Mason and Willie Cardosa. Give me a quick second.
So who's on the screen, Ms.
Mr. Martinez.
Yes, sir.
Okay. The defendant.
I just got off the phone with Willie Cardosa, Judge. He's going to call Mason to get him to speed up the process.
Okay, Soto Martinez has trial.
It's gonna be the 20.
Okay. Yeah, but I think he's in the hospital, so.
We have to get this one taken care of.
Yeah,
Through a phone, right?
I don't, just a ruling, his lawyer is present, so he could advise him the new date.
That's the motion that they did.
Yeah, I've got another
We
copy.
gotta- we gotta- How do we do it to remember everything?
Oh, I don't, I forget everything. Monica and Sarah have to keep me filled in all the time.
Good. To have good right hands and left hands.
No, in fact, I have to get a little list of what's coming up, so I don't make mistakes.
Just have.
Yeah, I think I've got a whole series of them in here. Murders are easier to try than.
Emotions.
Okay, good.
Sometimes it can change before you leave or can you come up in case you want to go to.
Okay,
I think we did June 30th.
but that's fine.
June 30th. I think before you leave.
Okay, that'll be fine. I'll double check that. This is a motion on him. It's ex parte. I'm trying to get, I'm trying to get the investigator into.
Yeah, he has a lot of motions. Well, they're there. But he has to.
Okay, would you remind him?
Yes.
Because we're kind of, I need to be able to get him into the jail to look at the case.
Next time it's cooking.
Yeah.
For some reason, he had chosen that as a guy, but I think the
I
other guy
had-
is on no leave.
Yeah, he got sick.
Oh, okay, that's right.
Yeah,
I
no,
always trying to remember that.
yeah, we worked with the other guy for a while, but he's had some health problems and says he can't go forward. Yeah, he was telling me.
Mr. Lagarza, I'm assuming is gone.
I don't know. He's still on, but I don't know if he's in.
Well, Mr. Avila has come out with his problem at the last minute here. That they're short staffed at the hospital and they're not able to get him on the screen and whatever. I don't know. Here comes another excuse.
Judge, I want to make it clear on the record, your court staff did everything the right way and gave them sufficient notice. This is clearly on the SO.
So there you have it, Mr. Stapleton. I have no choice but to release him, but I can't release him with an admonishment, so I don't know what to do.
Well, I'm trusting that Mr. De La Garza can advise him of the setting. It's July 25th, and for that he'll need to appear. He failed to appear at a previous time, and I think that's been part of the reason that, but if he seems to have an old relationship with Mr. De La Garza, we're happy for him to.
Well, the court, let's make it sure that the record is clear that the court, by releasing him because he's being held without authority, and court has no choice but to release him, but in doing so is not releasing him from the obligations that he has under the subpoena or attachment that was issued previously, requiring him to be here.
Yeah, sure.
So that if he fails to be here, we can proceed to attach to go pick him up based on that subpoena or attachment. All right. So, Mr. Ariola, if you just tell Mr. Ragazza that we would like to have him available on the 25th.
I can hear you, Judge. I'm listening.
Oh, okay. Well, Mr. Lagarza, I would appreciate it if you would prevail on him to be here on, and again, tell him he's subject to arrest if he's not, and we don't want to put him back in jail. All he has to do is come here,
Yes, Judge. The only thing I would need is some type of an appointment because, under 24.111.
I'll get Mr. Lees to work on something like that.
Okay. That's all I would need.
Yeah, I'll issue it. All right.
Okay.
All right,
Okay, Judge. Thank you.
thank you. All right, anything else?
Judge, just if it could be sent immediately because he is costing the taxpayer money,
Yeah,
extensive.
instanter, yeah, instanter.
Thank you, Judge.
All right. Okay, but,
Thank you, Your Honor.
all right, thank you, Mr. Stapleton.
Bye-bye.
Uh,
Joe, you're gonna come over here?
Yes, I'm gonna walk over there.